on occasion, something happens, like Happy Gilmore. Will Zalatoris, who everybody jokingly was saying looked like Happy's caddy. He won a tournament, and I remember going to sleep that night going, man, that'd be kind of fun to do a senior tour Happy Gilmore movie and have Will be my caddy, and he leaves me and goes on to become an opponent or someone that's like becomes a superstar. I get ideas and stuff, get excited for a minute, but then I haven't followed through on anything yet. But we'll see, maybe down the line.
Bo Cruz, how's it feel getting into the combine?
The combine? I mean the combine?
You are as of 30 minutes ago. Have you thought about what team you want to play for?
It will be an honor to play for any team.
Tell you what, he could be playing for the Sixers right now, but Vince Merrick didn't want him. He specifically said that. You remember? Anthony, you remember that, right? Because you were the guy interviewing him.
Yeah, that's right.
He's 22 years old. You're messing with his life.
Come on, man. What kind of ball player do you think
Hang on. Just have some respect for your profession. Get the whole story next time. What kind of ball player do I think? I'll answer that question. This guy is as if Scottie Pippen and a wolf had a baby, and Lisa Leslie raised them, and Allen Iverson was the babysitter.
Welcome to the actor's side. Today, he needs no introduction. You know him from so many movies. I couldn't even begin to name them here, but currently Hustle, which won rave reviews, not only for the movie on Netflix, but for Adam Sandler. Welcome, Adam Sandler.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by the office. Very nice of you.
Absolutely. We're happy. We're happy to do it on location here.
Yes. It's good. Feels good. Feels good. Nice morning. Yankees are doing well. They're in the playoffs.
Well, I have to say, we are in the offices here of Happy Madison, which is, I can figure out where the title came from.
Yes.
A couple of movies here.
Yes,
Happy
couple
Gilmore,
older.
Billy Madison.
Exactly.
This is you are a mogul in addition to being an actor that everyone knows. You are quite the producer here.
In this neighborhood where I'm at, I'm probably one of the top 30 players. Yeah.
But actually, yeah, I would say you're being modest here because you walk through these offices and there is one poster after another for all the films that you've done, not only done, but produced.
Yes. Been doing it a long time now.
Yeah.
Not as long as you, though, Pete.
Well, I don't produce hit movies, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Actually, when did you decide to go behind the scenes as well?
Boy, that was just like, I don't even remember exactly what was first, but we were making movies. My friends were all making movies, so we just kind of combined that. If my friends had an idea that we thought we could help with, we all got together and jammed on it, and then I think that's how it all started. Maybe Deuce Bigalow was first. I don't even remember.
Yeah. What is it about Saturday Night Live that has produced so many film stars?
Well, I think it's first cast. They made it all happen. Where just people accepted. Okay, that show. We connect with those guys. We have. We believe in their comedy, and Aykroyd and Chevy and all those guys went on to make amazing movies. So we just followed what they're doing.
Yeah, and the next wave and the next wave, and we just had another big changeover for this season too.
Oh, I saw the first episode. All the new kids looked awesome.
Yeah,
look funny. They look comfortable already.
Yeah,
took me about 2 years to feel confident on that show. That they look like they're excited.
Did it? You famously said you were fired from that show.
I did. I mean, it was. What happened was I think the new brass that was there was like, we don't like him. We don't like, that kind of thing. And then it was time to go anyways. But it was, I kind of got a little, you got to go, brother.
Well, you showed them.
I did. I lucked out. I did good. Everything's good.
You know what's so interesting when I look at the list of all these movies, that after you did SNL, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, The Waterboy, you have beautiful
yes, I like Bobby Boucher, yes.
So great. Grown Ups, just go with it. I mean, I could go down this list of all of these that were very successful comedies.
Yeah.
But what I don't think people realize, because every time you do something like a Hustle or Uncut Gems or anything, people say, "Wow, he's a hell of an actor too. And you know, you have always been that. Let me point out some of these movies. Uncut Gems, for which you won the Independent Spirit Award. You should have been nominated for an Oscar. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. Punch Drunk Love with Paul Thomas Anderson, who was a huge fan of yours. And sought you out. Meyerowitz, there you had Noah Baumbach, and a movie I loved, Reign Over.
Reign Over Me, Mike Binder. That was Mike Binder's movie.
A terrific film, and Funny People, Judd Apatow. All of these are
different than what I've made. Yes.
Yeah. Now, why did you? Were you nervous about going into that at all, and and sort of like taking a turn from what your fans expected, or?
I don't know if I was nervous as much as when these guys would approach me with their movies and say they were thinking of me in the parts, I would just not want to let them down. I knew it was a big deal for them I'm sure they had to do some fighting to get me in it to say, and then we thought Adam Sandler, they probably got a little resistance. So the fact that they liked me and thought of me, I never wanted them to go home at night and say, oh, God, why did I pick this dummy? So I worked extra hard.
Yeah, and I know Paul Thomas Anderson, and I know what a fan he was, and I know his vision is so direct and sharp. He knows what he wants.
Oh my God, yes. I love him as a guy. We're just good friends now, and he's one of the funniest, nicest guys I know. And I love every time I'm with him, I'm happy. But movie making, he's just super focused, and knows what he wants to see, thinks about the music, thinks about everything while shooting, the lighting, he just dominates, takes over. He's got his vision, and you just want to make sure you get his vision right.
Right. Do you have a particular favorite among the comedies that you've made?
Zero. I mean, I work so hard making these movies with my friends and the guys I work with in editing and shooting and the scripts, and we care about everything with the timing of trying to make people laugh and the rhythm of it all, and so not usually it's the one I'm shooting at the time. We look at each other and go, this is our baby, this is the one, and then once we move on, we're like, yeah, all right, let's go at it again. I mean, looking back at it all, if something's on television, I like, if I see Billy Madison or something like that, my first thought usually is, let's get back to that weight. That was a good weight.
Yeah.
That was in high 160s. I like that. That's long gone.
Happy Gilmore, I would argue, is right there too in terms of that earlier period.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you won an MTV award for Best Duo with Bob Barker.
Oh, Best Fight Scene.
Best Fight Scene.
I have to say, we did win, and that was excellent. It was a good feeling. But I think in the same category, looking back at it, this is like 25 years ago, Jackie Chan was in the same category. I'd say they've made a mistake. Jackie Chan was a lot more thought out, the fight.
Yeah, but that's a scene nobody's forgotten.
Yes.
Including Bob Barker, who's still
I hear about Bob a lot on the streets. Yeah.
So, Uncut Gems, I said I was going to get back to this. I talked to you during that period on that movie. Just an amazing performance, an amazing movie. The Safdie brothers.
They're
extraordinary.
Guys, yes.
You won, I think, more critical praise than you've ever gotten for any single film.
Yes.
And all kinds of talk on Oscars. Are you mad at the Academy because, in my opinion, they robbed you?
Oh, that's funny. Not at all. I think it became like, I've said a few things, I was just joking around, and it appeared that I was taking it very serious. I'm not mad 1 ounce. I had a great experience. I went to all those fun hangs, those dinners. Somehow I was at all these, independent Spirit Award.
Independent Spirit Award. Your speech was hilarious.
I had the best time that day. Everything we did running around was great, and I got to meet a lot of people. But the Safdie boys, man, I can't thank them enough for working as hard as they did and let me be part of their world. And we're working on something else now that should be exciting. And I love those guys. I have zero anything with I don't even think about like, oh my God, I should have got this. It's not. No, it's not like that.
A lot of people think about that when they don't get it. You know, they just like get very frustrated and sad. But,
Well, I don't know if you can do that in life. Like we're making these movies, we work our asses off. I think there's some sort of there's just the pride you take in that, and that feels good. And the Oscar thing, that would be fun. I know it would be funny to one day, if that ever happened. I know it would excite a lot of family members. So that's the good part of it ever happens.
Yeah. To me, like comedians and comedies, people who've done stand-up are sometimes the best dramatic actors too.
There's been a lot of great ones. I loved Gleason. I loved when I was young. My father used to call me in the room, take a look at this. And when Gleason would do a serious movie, and you'd watch him not be funny, you're like, "Whoa, this is very odd. I've never seen him like this." And you know, I loved a lot of comics. I loved Jerry Lewis. And Robin Williams as an actor was ridiculous. And a lot of these guys are very in touch with something.
You know, that's interesting you mentioned Jerry Lewis, because I've thought of Jerry Lewis when I think of Adam Sandler too, because of that. He was an extremely talented dramatic actor.
Oh man, yeah.
Never got. I mean, you look at Scorsese's King of Comedy, and talk about a great director putting him in that kind of role. But he'd done so many of these popular comedies that Hollywood didn't want to give him a shot.
Well,
at that.
I think, you know, Jerry Lewis, there's nobody who doesn't say he's amazing as a comedian, but of course, people who like, you know, Scorsese and know Scorsese thought of Jerry Lewis and how great Jerry Lewis was in the movie. There's nobody that says, I don't know if I like Jerry Lewis, and that everyone's just like, he was fantastic. So
yeah, you know, you mentioned Gleason. I just rewatched The Hustler not long ago.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He was amazing in that.
Absolutely, yeah.
He should have won for that. But,
did he not win? I don't even know. I don't even know who won it. I didn't think about that. So I just know that Gleason was Gleason.
Yeah, the talent there. Now, Hustle is a movie that combines not only your love of movies, but of hoops here and basketball. So tell me, how did Hustle come about? How did that come about here?
I was kind of lucky. I got LeBron's company and Joe Roth's company. I think they were working on the script, and they thought of me, and they sent it over, and I loved the idea of it, of a talent scout for a basketball team, you know, looking for the next big thing for his team. And I connected with that, and then Jeremiah Zagar, who directed it, we somehow became friendly, and I told him how much I loved his work, and we would just had a lot of talks and a lot of discussions about this idea, and then we just kind of got more and more excited about it.
Yeah, and it's like one that you don't often see here, the scout, you know, the person looking for the talent there.
Right.
That would be such an interesting movie because we see his ambitions.
Yes,
here.
That's true. His ambitions and his life and his living on the road. I clicked with when I used to do a lot of comedy, and you're away and you're missing home, and you're just like, I gotta get back to my family. And yeah, it's just about a man. It's about hard work. That's what the movie's about. People who are just nonstop belief in what they want to achieve.
And then, you know, the character, unfortunately, you know, he's a mentee of Robert Duvall's character, who owned the team and really was going to give him the shot, and then he dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Happens early in the movie.
Yeah.
And then you have this asshole guy take over. Ben Foster, brilliant.
Yes, he is great.
And all of a sudden, you're thrown back into that position of...
Sure.
Yeah.
That happens in life. That happens to a lot of people. Your things are going okay, then things get shook up at the office. A new person's leading the team, and you're like, oh no, that's bad news for me, because that person don't like me too much. And that's basically what happens.
Yeah. You got briefly to work with Duvall here.
Amazing. Yes.
What is it like when you're working across a legend here, like somebody like that?
You think of it. You're excited. You're excited telling friends. You're excited, but when you're in the moment and you're on the set, it's as good as it can be. He's just a very warm guy, funny as hell. You know, he was, I don't know, even remember exactly how old while we were shooting, but he was in his 90s. He'd come, he'd shoot, he knew everything about the whole movie. And it was as good as it gets. And he told me a lot of good James Caan stories, so that was fun.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the other night we were at a screening that Dustin
Yes,
Hoffman
yes.
hosted for you. And of course you've worked with him a few times.
Yes.
And Meyerowitz
Yeah.
was one great. You played Danny.
Yeah.
And what was that like working with him?
Hard working man. Hard work. Never stops thinking, Dustin. Never stops trying to come at a character in a way you weren't thinking, and backstory and real, and just the best. He's as good as it can be.
I got to ask you about Netflix.
Yes.
Because around 2015, you're a major studio box office star, mostly I think with Sony.
Yes.
And then you decided to take the leap here with the streamer.
Right.
One of the earliest adopters of
Right,
that.
yeah.
Why? Why did you decide that?
Pure luck. Ted Sarandos was calling my guys up and my brother and discussing why he thinks the future is going to streaming, and everybody on my team would call me up, and I remember my brother saying, it's really cool. It's kind of true. It is all going that way. And I would say, I don't even know what you're talking about. Why would it go that way? I was doubting every second of it. And then I met Ted. He came up to Toronto. I was shooting a movie up there, and we talked for a dinner. And he just was such a great guy. Knew so much about movies and knew just so much about Saturday Night Live and comedies. And anyways, I clicked with him. So I started going, oh, he's such a great guy, man. This could be fun, but I don't know if it's something I should be doing. And then I think I said it the other night, but I was walking down the street with him. Two teenage kids were on their porch. And I said, what are you guys... Oh, I said, you guys going... What are you guys doing this weekend? They go, what? So what are you doing this weekend? You going into the movies? They go, nah. You're going to stay home and watch Netflix. So I go, really? Yeah. And I was like, man, this Netflix thing, just from two kids on the porch, I was like, maybe this does make some sense. So ended up going that way.
And they turned out to be Sarandos's kids.
That would be funny. Yeah.
And you were totally
They were two random children that changed my life.
But that did change your life, because this has been like, I mean,
I don't even know how many years, but I've gotten to make a lot of movies here and have a nice relationships at Netflix, and I trust those guys, and they're very involved and also have great opinions about stuff, and they with my stuff, I feel like they're teammates. Feels good.
Yeah, and it is interesting that Hustle is a bit of a left turn from some of the movies you've made for Netflix.
Yeah.
So they're letting you, and
they let me, if I believe in something 100%, they go, all right, you're excited, let's get into it, and they'll steer me away from something that I was excited about. But if they see that I'm there's 100% belief in there, they jump on with me.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you miss the movies in theaters?
Sure. I mean, do I miss the old days when The Waterboy came out and it was all of a sudden a big deal? That was exciting as hell. But that was fun. I was young. I couldn't believe those weekends and how exciting it was talking to heads of studios and them telling you you're doing good or bad or whatever was happening. Those were pretty cool moments in my life. But I feel the same amount of belief and excitement of putting a movie out there and saying, I hope people like it and connect with it. And Hustle felt good. Hustle felt really nice. I walked down the street, people would talk to me about Hustle a lot. When it first came out, it was just like, it was exciting for people who like basketball, for people who didn't really even care about basketball.
My wife and I were at the premiere at the Village West.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, and she just and she's not like a huge basketball fan,
right?
And she just came out raving, so excited about it.
Cool.
And of course you had all those real NBA
Yes.
players and executives and things that were cast here that gave it a bit of authenticity beyond just the norm here.
Oh, it was great shooting with those guys, because if you did something that wasn't authentic, they would look at you like, no, that's not real, man.
Yeah.
It was good.
You still play hoops yourself, although
the hip right now was holding me back, but I was shooting in my backyard yesterday with the new hip, and the new hip was definitely saying, let's calm down. You're not ready yet, man.
the new hip is a different kind of opponent.
He's slowed the game down a lot.
Well, let's hope you keep playing in all of these arenas here, movies, hoops, everything.
Thank you, man.
And I can't wait to see what you're doing next. And you mentioned Waterboy. Is there one movie people come up and say, come on, do a sequel, do another one?
I hear that throughout the day, you know. I have a few that they talk to me about, but I never really think about it. On occasion, something happens, like Happy Gilmore. You know, Will Zalatoris, who everybody jokingly was saying looked like Happy's caddy. He won a tournament, and I remember going to sleep that night going, man, that'd be kind of fun to do a senior tour Happy Gilmore movie and have Will be my caddy, and he leaves me and goes on to become an opponent or someone that's, you know, like becomes a superstar. I get ideas and stuff, get excited for a minute, but then I haven't followed through on anything yet. But we'll see, maybe down the line.
I'm going to make sure that's emphasized in this interview. I think that's a great idea to see Happy Gilmore again.
It would be the best shoot of my life. I wouldn't mind shooting. 50 days on a golf course is always fun.
I know. I see you have a roll-up golf mat over here.
It's not helping. It's not helping. Nothing's helped. This new hip might help me. We'll see.
It might. Adam Sandler, thanks for joining us.
All right. Good to see you, buddy.
Good
Thanks,
to see
Pete.
you.
Thanks for coming in.